ready for this situation in which we probably offend all the tea-loving traditionalists out there. I think we'll be okay, right? I think we'll be fine. If I'm calculating this correctly. All right. We got our matcha, we got our whisk, we've got our bowl, we've got our scoop, we got our little filter thing to sift the matcha through, and then we got maple water and, what do you call this? Sparkling lemon flavored water. Naturally essenced, like Croix. So, you guys probably know what is going to happen today. We are going to be trying to whisk matcha, not in water, but in two different, mediums. We're going to whisk the matcha in maple water first, and then in La Croix. So, welcome to today's tea practice. We've been doing a kind of a, more serious, kind of hardcore couple weeks of tea practice with Tea World Olympics going on. So for those of you who have been joining us for Tea World Olympics, congratulations on finishing, number one. Number two, thank you for your tea practice, for being so, hardworking and diligent in trying to, and trying to just push forward your tea practice. We've been working really hard. We've been doing a lot of serious tea practice. So after a couple weeks like that, it's good just kind of change it up. So don't call the tea place on me again. I just want to see what happens. We're going to try to whisk matcha with maple water and La Croix. See what happens. For those of you who've joined us before, you've probably seen us whisk matcha in a couple different mediums before. We've tried to whisk matcha with green tea, we've whisked matcha with white tea, with different kinds of oolong, we've even done matcha in pu'er, and then finally we've done matcha in herbal tea as well. I think the only type of tea we haven't tried matcha in yet is black tea. So someone who wants to try to hit that up before we do, feel free. Those experiments have done actually pretty well, even if they are a little bit frightening to think about. We've had some success whisking matcha in green tea. It's probably the most successful of those experiments, which makes sense because matcha as a green tea already naturally meshes with the components in steeped green tea as well. So what we do, we brew the tea, we'd filter the matcha through to kind of make sure that it's nice and kind of powdery separated. And we pour the tea into the bowl to whisk in, for those of you who haven't seen us do this. But today, we'll go a little bit further and try to whisk using, again, the maple water and the lemon flavored La Croix. Yeah. Claire says, you didn't call it La Croix? Is it La Croix? It's La Croix, right? Like, can our French friends, Francophone friends, I'm sure that someone would have said something already, right? I think it's La Croix. So, yeah. Bonjour, bonsoir, wherever you guys are. Welcome to today's tea practice again. I saw Hide Stock came in. Jay's over here. Claire, Marco. I think the other Jeremy was in the chat as well. Welcome, welcome. Bienvenue. Is that right? Welcome. Good venue. Bienvenue. Is that what it means in French? Anyway, yeah. So let's get everything just kind of warmed up. We will make sure to kind of try to prepare this matcha in a quote-unquote legitimate way. We're not going to try to bastardize it in any other way than to put not water in it. So as usual, we will preheat our bowl and preheat our whisk, because I don't want anyone else to think that any bad result or good result here is a fluke. I'm going to prepare the matcha as I usually do, but just with, our different mediums later on. And what I was wondering is if we should boil the maple water or heat it, or if we should use it cold. So I'd like to ask you guys to help us decide there today. Should we use the maple water as it is, or should we boil it in the kettle? We also have the option of just not boiling it all the way. We could go to like 80 degrees or so. But I'm kind of curious. We could also do both. But yeah, I was kind of thinking about it because I want to compare these two to see what works best. But if I boil the La Croix, it's not going to be carbonated anymore. So I think I'm interested in, you know, trying to keep it carbonated so we can get the kind of like nice, kind of sparkling flavor going on. So help me decide, hot or cold? What should we do here? I think that you can whisk matcha successfully in cold water with the right technique. So I think cold is an option, but if you're okay with also doing the maple water warm and then the La Croix cold, let me know. We'll see if we can fit all of it in. Yeah. And Joe's over here. Joe, you're supposed to be in the water, right? I think Joe from Fish Anywhere is supposed to be fishing somewhere today. Let us know if you're tuning in from the boat or safely at home. Either way is going to be good. We'll be glad that you got home safely. Claire says I keep it the same all around. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if we should do it hot all around or cold all around. If not, we'll just flip a coin. We'll see. So the matcha that I've chosen for today is specifically chosen for this experiment. Different matchas will have different flavor profiles and react differently. So I chose a matcha that's relatively umami and relatively soft and sweet. It's Fukujuen's matcha. It's called, I think it's Okomidori. That's an Okomidori matcha. Really, really good stuff. I think that's Okomidori. I can't read that first character. But I did choose it so that it matches naturally with the kind of almost slight kind of sappy, kind of thick flavor coming on from the matcha, from the maple water. And then hopefully it's going to be bright and soft enough to try to mesh well with La Croix as well. So, yeah. Let us know what you guys are drinking this morning. Lovely Saturday over here in Vegas. We've been having some high mountain oolong this morning. Pretty good. Pretty predictable. Jay says, hard question. I would say cold only because you'll concentrate sugar in the maple water and lose the sparkling aspect. Okay. I'm happy asking Jay for it because Canadian friends would probably know best what to do. So let's do that. Is that okay? We'll just do it cold first and then we'll maybe try to boil it later. I think that's good. If the cold version is promising, that might make me more brave to try to boil it later. Okay. Maple water or La Croix first? Should we test? Okay. Yeah, can you tell I'm a little bit scared? I'm not really sure how to make this experiment work. With a little prayer, I guess. Yeah, hopefully we'll be okay. I'm running out of this matcha. Uh-oh. I think we'll have to use the, I'll use this for the maple syrup. I mean, the maple water. I think we're not going to have enough to have it for both the La Croix and the maple water. So right now, I'm just scooping out my matcha. I think I had less than I thought I did in this tin. So you might not be able to use the same matcha for both experiments, unfortunately. I need matcha. We've been drinking a lot of it lately. Joseph, welcome to today's tea practice. We're still preparing as we are going to soon try to see if maple water is a good medium to whisk matcha in. Or La Croix. Jay says 1 p.m. Reby like good morning. Yeah, this is still morning for me. We wake up pretty early, but I don't like afternoon, I guess. As long as I'm having tea, it makes me feel like it's just bright and early in the morning. All right, so let us indeed use La Croix for this very first one. Yeah, let's go with that, Claire. Then I pick another matcha from the same company. Yeah, okay. To use for the next experiment. So matcha's all like sifted and stuff. We do the thing with the filter just so that we remove any clumps. So that when we whisk the matcha, it's going to be nice and smooth. No clumpy mess going on as we try to experiment with this. So in theory, if I put water in this and whisk it up, it'd be really, really nice and frothy and pure and delicious. But that's, you know, I'd like to try something new today. So let's try the La Croix. It says this is a limoncello naturally essenced. My friend Christine gave this to me as an idea to do for an experiment. The only ingredients here are carbonated water and natural essence. I don't know what that means. Yeah, let's see. Ooh, I'm so glad that didn't explode in my face. It might still. Okay, it didn't. All right, perfect. And then when you're trying these experiments, try to taste what the medium is like first. Cheers. Ooh, it's so fizzy. Whoa. Wow, that's actually pretty tasty. Holy crap. I don't drink LaCroix very much, but that's quite tasty. It's like, it's the lemon flavor in it is almost like having like a lemon bar, more than like an actual lemon. It's quite sweet and smooth and really good. Seems promising. So let's try it out. Humming Tea, welcome to practice today. Alex, nice to see you. T. Zelson, welcome. Let's see if our test here, LaCroix plus matcha, is a viable option. Yeah, let's go. Gosh, how much water do I... Okay, let's just go. Oh my god, what the hell is going on? It's so fizzy.
Wow.
Oh my god, what is going on with my whisk? Jesus. Woo! It's frightening. It's like a science experiment. Whew. Alright. I have never seen that happen before, and when I first put my whisk on, it felt really odd. It still feels really odd. Yeah. That was such a funny feeling. I wish that I could express what that felt like. I have never felt that ever before. The combination of the fizzy and the way that the matcha felt with the fizzing water, I felt like all the powder just kind of freaked out with the bubbling action. Whew. It's frightening. Wow. I know it's just water and tea, guys, but that was quite an experience. And then I just put a little bit more. Okay, not nearly as frightening now. It is kind of hard to see how much actual water I'm putting in because of the frothing of the LaCroix. The matcha is also frothing in a different way. There's a lot of bigger bubbles going on. It doesn't usually look like this when I whisk my matcha. And I usually don't have any trouble whisking matcha. Lots of big bubbles. And the foam that you want on top is kind of bouncy. It looks a little bit different. For those of you popping in right now, we're trying to whisk matcha with lemon flavored water, specifically LaCroix, sparkling water. Pretty tasty. And then the foam doesn't want to keep very well. Let's see if I can try to get it to stay. If you guys see, it's kind of just dissipating. It's a little sad looking. It's Omoto Senkai style. It's not supposed to be foamy. Okay. Yeah, it's just not foaming up too well, which, makes sense. It's, the physical kind of, movement of the carbonation, I'm sure, is kind of disrupting the foam. And, I'm sure there's some pH stuff going on. No idea. Looks quite frightening though. Steven, look at this. So many dots. For those of you who have, what's that fear of dots? You guys know what I'm talking about, right? It's when you look at something with a lot of dots or holes and you get really freaked out. Like the back of a toad's back. There's a word for it.
Trypophobia.
Yeah, trypophobia. It's quite trypophobic. Let's see if it's good. It smells amazing. Wow. Oh my god, that's really good! What the hell? That's crazy. Wow. Oh my god, Steven, why do we not use LaCroix and whisk matcha in? That's delicious. That's really good.
Wow.
That's really fucking tasty. Dude, it's perfect. I don't know why. It's definitely matcha. So the first question is, does the LaCroix take over the matcha taste? And I wouldn't say so. Right? I wouldn't say so.
It blends nicely.
It blends perfectly together. When you experience it, when you bring up the bowl to your face, you get the whiff of the La Croix,
Yeah.
but it's not overwhelming. You can still smell the matcha. Yeah, you can still... Wow, it's so good. And the texture and the matcha... I mean, because the La Croix has a kind of like foamy, kind of thick texture to it for sparkling water. It works really, really well with the body of the matcha as well. It's just perfect. Yeah, I don't even want to explain it in words to break it down. It just works really, really well.
I think the higher temperature will help though. It's a little clumpy on the bottom. You know.
Yeah, actually something that's weird is that it's clumpy at the bottom, as I was about to say. I don't know why that happened, but there was a strange texture thing that happened when I poured the Croix in. Almost like almost it felt almost like whisking a marshmallow for a little bit there. Something strange happened. But yeah, for those of you who do whisk matcha, usually the higher temperature you go, the easier it is to make a foam. So maybe that's why the tea isn't so foamy or well integrated. But this is really tasty. This is better than I thought it would be. Like I thought it'd be like a 3 at best, maybe a 4. This is like a 5 out of 5. That's fucking delicious. Wow, that's really good. Okay, so that's
Nice.
That's really good. You still like it, Stephen? Even towards the bottom?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Really tasty. Who knew? Okay. What I'd love to do with this is to pour it over ice. It would be really tasty. Really, really good. Wow. That was shocking. All right then. Yeah. Let us move on to the next experiment. We are having a showdown between La Croix and matcha and maple water and matcha. So, La Croix friends, I think you're quite ahead. Maple water fans, I don't know how it's going to stand up to it. The benefit of maple water is that it is a very natural product. There's nothing added to it, but also it has less help from a natural essence to taste good with the matcha. So we'll see if we can get something good done with the maple water. Steven, rating? Out of 5?
Four.
I'd say it's like a 4 or 4.5 out of 5. Really, really tasty. Good stuff. Oh my god, I'm shocked that that's so lovely. Okay, let's try the maple water in just a second. Let me just make sure that I clean out our matcha bowl for the next experiment so we don't have any La Croix left inside. Did you expect that to happen? I sure did not expect that to happen. Good things come to those who do things. So this is why I want to do this, because let me be real. 8 times out of 10, an experiment like this is not going to go well. But the 8 out of 10 failures are so worth it for the 2 out of 10 that actually come out really well, honestly. Because the thing is, the worst is you waste a little bit of matcha and you're not happy with the result, right? But I think a lot of us have a need to do something the right way, quote unquote, the right way in tea. We don't want to do something wrong. But the thing is, there is no right, quote unquote, right way to do things. And our fear of being wrong prevents us from pushing the boundaries and finding really cool stuff. So I'm not saying like I'll go out and, only use sparkling water for your matcha, but try that once in a while. Do something really stupid. Just do something really dumb. Dumb sounding, because to me, in my heart, you're not going to be stupid. We're also at the bottom of this. We gotta get some more matcha, Stephen. Jeez. This is from the same company, a different matcha that we're using. This is the Shinsha matcha from Fukujoen. I think this will still be a good match for the maple water though, because this also is a very kind of light, slightly umami, and kind of grassy tasting matcha. It's called Shinsha matcha because it's supposed to have been made from first harvest matcha material. which is a little bit unusual. Usually when matcha is made, we're using material that's been rested for a little bit. In plain terms, they let the leaves sit for a while before they make matcha out of them so that the flavor can develop. So Shinsha matcha is kind of strange. I've heard of people making Shinsha matcha for foreign markets, but blending a little bit of last year's in just to make it taste better, because they would get complaints about the matcha just not tasting like anything because it was so new. And this is something I've also experienced. You think that the freshest, best, most amazing tea is the stuff that comes right off the press. But I've noticed that even new tea takes a couple of weeks to kind of come into itself. So when I try a tea that's like 1 or 2 weeks old, it's like, it's still sour, doesn't know what it's doing yet. Then after a couple of weeks, it really opens up. So if ever you have a tea that's come in, that's a new 2020 tea, especially if it's not a green tea, but even if it is, see what happens when you first get it, and then taste it like 2, 3, 4 weeks after, a couple months after, to see how it changes. There's a kind of sweet spot there where it becomes more confident and it comes out tasting a lot better than when it's completely, totally fresh. Yeah. That happened to me before. I was like, oh, 2020, I think it was an Indian black tea. 2020 Indian black tea from like 2 weeks ago, amazing. And it was horrible. So I left it on the table for a couple of weeks because I was so disappointed with it. It's supposed to be a new, fresh harvest. You just got it in, amazing. The tea, came in from the farm. They shipped it out once they made it. It was so unbalanced and sour and just not interesting. And then a couple of months later, I tried it just to see what happened. And it came out really, really well. I was shocked. That's when I learned how, sometimes a little bit of not freshness is good in the tea. Give it some time to just come into itself. All right, so this is the maple water that we'll use. It's, again, if you're gonna try something out with your matcha, taste what it tastes like first to get an idea of what the flavor profile is you're introducing into your matcha. Maple water is so tasty. So props to our Quebecois friends who introduced maple water to me and Steven a couple months ago. We figured out that once every 2 months, our local department store, our local grocery store puts these on sale for like $1.20, and they put like 12 of them, 15 of them out, and then we stock up. Because these are supposed to be pretty expensive. This is called Drink Simple. It's a maple water from Vermont. It's not a Canadian-made product, but it's supposed to be organic. It's supposed to have no other added ingredients in it. Yeah, it says less sugar than coconut water. It's gluten-free. It's vegan. It's paleo. Yeah, all the good stuff. I mean, I hope maple water is gluten-free, right? Yeah. So we will try to whisk the matcha with maple water. Now, for those of you coming in, we just tested matcha with Croix, limoncello, sparkling, essenced sparkling water. It's actually pretty tasty, honestly. So I'm hoping that the maple water will stand up. And yeah, we will try to probably boil it after this, but let's try to see what happens right now. Just with it being cold. Comparti Mosunte, welcome, and Musubi envelope, Kopi Hui tea. I see Tea Blossom, Celia, nice to see you, Misa Yen. Welcome to tea practice today. Doing something a little bit just lighthearted, fun, a little scary. The La Croix at the very beginning, I was like, oh my god. It's like a science experiment. Hopefully this goes well. Yeah. Let us know what you guys are drinking this morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are. Oh, so pretty. Maple water has this nice, luscious texture that makes it very satisfying to pour out of. Okay. Ooh, it smells amazing. What the hell? Wow. Smell of matcha with maple water. Wow. Wow. Holy crap. That was crazy. Yeah. Holy crap. That was crazy. It's not whisking very well, though. I am using our old whisk. That's more difficult to whisk out of. It's quite messy. It just smells amazing. The matcha somehow smells amazing with the maple water. Sweet, kind of sappy, like being in a forest. It's crazy. I'll be happier if the maple water tastes better than the La Croix, to be honest, because there's nothing added to the maple water. So I kind of had to give it to the competitor that doesn't have any help from like an outside source. We'll see. For the sake of Canada, even if this is not a Canadian maple water, this is still your heritage we're repping down here in the USA. So hopefully it goes well. Okay, I think it's not going to foam up that much. Something we've noticed before with whisking matcha and other things is that it's a little bit more difficult to foam stuff. Yeah, the tryptophobia is happening again. So many dots. I'll show that to you guys. Dots. But it smells really good. It really does. All right, let's try it out, Stephen. It smells really tasty. Wow, today's a good experimenting. That's tasty. Wow. What did I do this week that meant that the tea gods have shined down fortune on me on this experiment? This is lovely. Wow. Okay, so the La Croix was really good, but that's really fucking delicious too. It's you should have seen Steven's face. It's so soft and like kind of subtle and you know, like I kind of like them both about equally. But damn, the fact that maple water, just maple water, can do that without anything added to it is really, really impressive. It's just dope. Steven's trying to whisk my matcha because that's one thing we're kind of seeing in this is it's not integrating very well with the liquor. So I think we need to see what happens if we heat it up. You down, Steven?
They just pop really fast. They don't have the staying power.
You didn't believe me? You just want to try it out for yourself. Oh, but it's so good! Wow! That's delicious. It's refreshing. It's pure. I honestly do like it better than La Croix. The La Croix is almost like a matcha dessert. If you can think about a lemon bar with matcha powder on it, that's the La Croix matcha in a nutshell. But here with the maple syrup, I mean the maple water, that thickness of the maple water, I think what it is, you know, maple water has sugars in it that are suspended in the liquid. So it makes the water a little bit thicker, along with all the other things that come into maple water. They tap the trees, and you have to have a fuck ton of liquid to make maple syrup. So maple water, I believe, is, you know, maple syrup before it's been boiled down. And that's why Jeremy earlier said it might be better to test it cold first, because you don't want to try to concentrate the sugars in the maple water before, you know, we put it into the matcha. I am curious now to see what happens if it's warm, because I think this would be fucking delicious warm. Right now it is a perfect summer drink, Jeremy. Really delicious. I have to give it to the maple water because it's just so pure.
Some ice in that would be great.
Yeah, actually, yeah. If it was cooler, if you could even chill this more, it's just so refreshing. It's like cane sugar with matcha, or they're just really good. And it makes me feel like I'm in the forest. So, yeah. Who knew that you could put maple water in ground up powdered shaded leaves and it would taste good? Such far off things. I'm really happy that they've come into harmony in this bowl. This is also a more quiet drink. It's a little bit more contemplative, meditative. The La Croix is very like dancey. It's like a house party, but fun, and everyone's still sober. Again, the La Croix is like a lemon bar with matcha. This is like, you know, the tiniest bit of maple syrup in a bowl of regular matcha, but with a thicker texture. I am kind of missing the foam of the matcha. I want to see what happens if we can foam up the matcha more. It's thick in a different way. It's not thick in the way that you'd regularly expect matcha to be. There's no foamy thing going on, no airy thing. Maybe a little bit in the maple water, but I think this is where we have to try heating it up. Cool. So I have a question. If we heat up the La Croix and we don't boil it, will it completely lose carbonation even if we don't boil it? Or can we preserve a little bit of the carbonation even if we're heating it up? So I think if we boil it, the carbonation will just... But if we heat it up to only like 80 degrees, I wonder if we can heat it up enough to make it taste, you know, warm without losing the sparkling aspect of the La Croix. So we'll move on to the next round of experiments. We'll try to heat these up. Yeah. Shiloh, it's so nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. And a cup of higher ed. We're doing some tea practice today. A little bit on the lighthearted side. So far, pretty lucky. We're not getting shot in the face or in the foot or any body part at all whatsoever. Which makes me very, very happy. Yeah. So Claire says, if you heat it to like 30 degrees Celsius, you probably lose most of it. We'll lose most of it, but can we keep a little bit of it? Maybe? Maybe we can try just keep a little bit of it.
Let's try it anyway.
Yeah?
Whatever
Okay.
happens.
Do you just want to boil it?
80.
80 degrees?
Yeah.
Well, I want to see if it keeps just a tiny bit of carbonation. I know it's not going to be as carbonated as where it is right now. But, yeah. Which one should we boil first? The La Croix. Okay. When Steven was trying to convince me to boil these, I was like, you're cleaning the kettle afterwards, right? Okay, so we will try to boil the La Croix. I've never put anything else but water in my kettle. It's a good thing this is not an iron tetsubin. Otherwise, I would definitely get spanked by the tea gods. Oh my god, what am I doing? Well, no, I guess I clean my kettle with like lemon, right? So it's kind of the same thing. I don't think it's the same thing. Okay, I'll just, yeah. I want to see what warm La Croix tastes like. Whew. Hopefully that doesn't break the kettle as well. There's nothing in the natural essence of the La Croix that does anything to the kettle. If not, we might have to look at Jeffrey McIntosh's kettle side by side. To get a new one. Oh my gosh, yeah. And Shiloh, you know, you can't laugh at me. Jeremy and me were just talking yesterday about your Tim Tam Slam from a couple of months ago. You remember that. So Shiloh, who's who I've ordered in chat, showed us how to do a Tim Tam Slam with tea just a couple of months ago. It was quite wonderful. You basically take a Tim Tam and you eat half of it, and then it opens up a little straw within the Tim Tam that you can then drink your tea from, and then the Tim Tam crumbles. So if you're an excellent tea master level Tim Tam snacker, slammer, you can successfully drink the tea through the Tim Tam, eat the Tim Tam, and then drink the tea without crumbling it into the tea. I think that's what the criteria are, right? And the second criteria is you have to be Shiloh to be a Tim Tam Slam master. Shiloh, I will do this eventually. I haven't done it yet. I just haven't seen a Tim Tam at the store. Because I swear if I see a Tim Tam, I will remember. Yeah. Pretty good. And a cup of higher red, agree, right? We're just descaling the kettle, which honestly, our kettle doesn't scale so much anymore. I used to have to descale my kettle a lot, but ever since using the Tea Curious formula, which we formulate now at home for really, really cheap, we haven't had to descale our kettles, or we haven't had tannin buildup with our cups, so I've been really happy with our formula so far. Okay, let's get the show on the road. Wow, so I think round one goes to maple water, man. Good job, Canada. The Canada-Vermont collaboration. Does anyone know why La Croix is called La Croix? It's an American brand, but it's so French sounding. It's like, let's figure out what will make the millennials most excited about, you know, like, is that it? Okay, let's see if I have enough of this to use. Yeah, it's enough. I think it's enough. We're searching up matchas again. We're like out of all our matchas, Steven. Claire says Yancha ice cream is very good. Yancha seems to reduce the effects of my lactose intolerance. That's really interesting. Yeah, I really like hojicha ice cream. And I also really like Taiwanese High Mountain Oolong ice cream. I went to this restaurant once in San Francisco. It was way too fancy for me. It was after Tea Festival. I forgot which one. It was years ago. But I think I need to ask Tony Gabley, because Tony Gabley told me about it. And they made ice cream with Red Blossom's High Mountain Oolong. So when I heard Red Blossom, I'm like, damn, they're like using really good tea. And then, you know what it's like, if someone says it's tea flavored, and then you get the thing, and then it's not really tea flavored, and it costs twice the amount because it's tea flavored, so then you're just disappointed and more broke. But when I got this Taiwanese High Mountain ice cream, I just, you know, the color was perfect. It's like the color of like the first steep of a High Mountain Oolong, you know? And then when you tasted it, it was like creamy and floral and buttery and airy, and you know how like really good High Mountain Oolong can be like cloud butter? It was like cloud butter ice cream. It was just so delicious. I wish I could have it again. I don't know what the name of the restaurant was, but damn, it was so good. Frighteningly good. Just scary good. It was so good. Alright, so the matcha we'll use here, I'm sorry that we're not using the same matcha for each experiment, but I am trying to match the matcha up to the specific thing that I'm testing. I will use Mie Matcha from sinensis.mx for oh no, I wanted to use this for the La Croix. No, it's okay. This will work out too. The La Croix is surprisingly sweet, so I think this will be fine. This is the, I think it is an Okomidori as well. Single cultivar from Mie. It's from sinensis.mx in Mexico. Organic, single cultivar, extremely delicious matcha. As you can see, I'm scraping the sides of the tin can to try to get all the matcha out because I've just drunk so much of it already. And then I'm just sifting it through to make sure we have no clumps. Saying a little prayer. And then we will try the La Croix that's been warmed up now. We will see if there's any carbonation left in it. If not, then at least we get the lemon essence thing going on. Yeah. Alright. Let us see. So this is actually La Croix in my kettle. You guys can confirm that. Let's see how it tastes like. Has anyone had warm, not even just warm, but 80-degree Celsius La Croix? Wow, interesting. It's not bad. It's like if someone makes a ginger tea. Oh my gosh. And Cup of Higher Ed coming in with the deets. Website says La was taken from the city of La Croix. Croix? Isn't that just Croix too? La Cross. The Cross. And Croix hails from the beautiful St. Croix River, which flows between Wisconsin and Minnesota. Okay. So this is an all-American matcha experiment. There is a little bit of carbonation still here. Do you taste it? Mm-hmm. It's still quite zesty. I don't know if it's my imagination, but it has a little bit of carbonation left. At least the sensation
it's still
of
fizzing
it.
inside the kettle.
Yeah?
Yeah. Okay.
So warm La Croix, we've taken it up to 80 degrees Celsius. I'd say it's at like 20-30% of its original carbonation, just by feeling, you know? Yeah, ready? Why do we do this? Okay, we do it because it's fun. Let's go. Okay, I'm gonna try to make a paste out of the matcha so it's not so clumpy. It is not fizzy as the first time we poured La Croix in. As you guys saw, it's interacting with the powder in an interesting way. You can kind of see when I'm looking in the bowl, there's still that kind of like action going on from whatever's in the La Croix that's physically agitating the powder and also not letting it become a paste so much. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, it's acting different from a regular matcha. Now, Stephen, because we put so much La Croix in this kettle, why don't we try to steep a tea with La Croix as well, not just matcha? You willing to do that? Bowl brew? Start a bowl brew of it?
What tea?
Jade leaves. I mean, Jade Mountain. Our OG oolong. I'm just curious to see what happens. Alright, so this is foaming up relatively better. It doesn't feel weird like the first La Croix round with the cool La Croix. Yeah, it's actually foaming. Foaming really, really well. It smells amazing. And then with the extra La Croix we have in the kettle, I'm going to try to brew High Mountain Oolong with it as well. Just to see what happens. Don't tell I. Or I think I will be interested to know what happens. The tea maker. Yeah, this is foaming up really, really well. Shocking. Look at how nice the foam is, Stephen. It's still not as easy to foam up, but it's relatively... looks like regular matcha now. This proves the idea that temperature is a huge deal in foaming up matcha, because now it looks like just regular matcha. A little bit more difficult to foam up, but it looks pretty good, I think, for what it is. It's just a little bit thinner. Ready? So for those of you joining in, this is round 3 for today. Matcha whisked in 80 degrees Celsius, La Croix, limoncello, carbonated water with natural essence. No sugar. I kind of like it. It's like the initial taste isn't that great, but it's not bad. It's almost like having warm lemon tea with matcha in it, but sweeter, I guess. It's quite vanilla-y, so the vanilla taste that's in La Croix, I'm sure La Croix must have some vanilla taste in it. It tastes so vanilla-y right now. It's vanilla-y, it's like sweet, like lemon tarts. Quite tasty. It's very interesting. I won't say I like it as much as the cold version of this drink, but it's very interesting. And I won't say I don't like it. It makes you think a bit. It's very odd. I don't think it's not a success though. Maybe Steven will tell us. Thoughts? Not bad, right?
I like it.
You just have to kind of get used to it. I wonder if the more that we brew it like that, the more we'll get used to it. And the rest of the La Croix that's in this kettle, we will use it to brew some High Mountain Oolong that we know really well, because YOLO, we'll see what happens. The worst that can happen is we waste 20 cents of High Mountain Oolong. Alright. So Jade Mountain Oolong with warm La Croix. What are we doing? It smells okay. We'll see what happens later. So we'll leave this for later to see what happens. I just happen to have extra. How's the kettle? Seems okay?
Pretty fine.
Okay.
Just gonna rinse it out.
Yeah. Not bad, honestly. Yeah. I have a feeling that the maple water will do better when it's warm, because maple water wants to be warmed up anyway. That's the natural state of maple water, right? Are we making maple syrup on stream? I'm just kidding. Are we? There's still the lemon flavor in it. Let me rinse it one more time. So what do you guys think? Will we have a winner in the warm La Croix or in the warm maple water? I have a feeling that the warm maple water will do better. Okay, better. So here's a proof in the pudding. I bet I'd like this. I'm just gonna use the whole. I bet I'm gonna enjoy warm maple water. Yeah, really good smell off the maple water. Ooh. Claire's like, can we have a hangout after? I want to see Riona's caffeine. I'm pretty okay actually. I don't feel too bad. I've gotten worse from like a bad pour. It's yeah, not too bad. But I guess you guys think that the caffeine is kicking in. I feel actually pretty okay. No shaking hands. Yeah, pretty okay. Mel from Akasakura Yuki, I wish you came in earlier because we were using some of your fukuju and matcha, the very, very last bit, to whisk some really delicious friggin' matcha with. So far we've done a cold round and a hot round. We did cold La Croix and maple water, and then now we're on the last little bit. We've done warmed La Croix, which interestingly still has some, you know, spiciness going on, some bubbliness going on. I didn't expect that. And then now we're heating up some maple water at the same temperature to see if it will be good or not. That's really tasty, honestly. Wow. It's fucking delicious. I did not expect this to be a good tea day, but it is. Thanks for joining us so far. I hope you guys are having a good time. This lovely Saturday. It's always nice to share tea experiments with you guys. Yeah. It's been fun. Highly recommend. I am shocked by how good it is. Yeah. Claire says, please don't make maple syrup in your kettle. We're trying not to. So I will warm up. You want to use that?
No.
Why not?
That's the one we want more of, actually.
Let's just use it.
If she's going to
It's
go
fine.
back.
It's fine.
No.
Yes. No, Stephen? Really? Let's just do it. It's going to be our trust
So
in the
sad.
maple stock. What? No, come on. It's going to be amazing. Okay. So, trust in the abundance of the universe.
I'm sure it's going to be amazing.
It's going to be amazing. So, we will use my favorite fucking matcha ever made, which is by Mel. You know, she went to Japan and went to Fukujuan and got me this tin, and it's fucking amazing. It's just so good. I call it Afterglow because it makes you feel really good. It's a creamy, super like friendly, super like just really, really, really good matcha. Very warm. I think it'll be perfect for the maple water, and yeah, I think it'll do well. This is again from Fukujuan. We've done a lot of Fukujuan matchas today, and then the only one that was different was the Mia matcha from Sinensis, but we'll see what happens. God, the maple syrup is really tasty. I mean, the maple water is really tasty when it's been warmed up. Yeah. Let's see what that tastes like. So let's see what warm maple water tastes like. Oh, it's so good. It's like maple syrup light.
Wow.
You guys ready for this? Okay, let's do this. No apologies. We will use our favorite matcha for this.
It's going to be so good.
I think it's going to be good. If not, I'm going to be really hurt because it's been a really good experiment day so far. Yeah. Chinese Tea Shop, welcome to practice today. And Richard Julio, LV, welcome. We are on the very, very last experiment today, whisking matcha with different mediums. Mediums being sparkling lemon water, specifically La Croix, and maple water from Vermont. It's been really interesting so far. This is the last bit of it that we're using, honestly. I know I've held on to this a long time, Mel, because I really love this just a lot. Yes, it is called Uji no Asa. Morning matcha. And it's from Fukujuen. They, I think Fukujuen started shipping tea out now, but they only have certain varieties available because Christine and I were looking for matchas we wanted to get from them. They're just so good. Just amazing. Just amazing. Cup of Pirate said, wish maple water wasn't so expensive. Like a big special treat for me. Dude, we got these on sale, which is why it's so awesome. They're only $1.20. They're usually really bougie, you know? Like, they're usually like $4. But again, some people don't like maple water, I guess, because our local Smith's puts it on sale once every 2 months for $1.20. And like, me and Steven are like, just get as much as you can. And we're like, yeah, we're pretty happy about it. Very, very tasty. Okay. Yeah. So thank you, Mel, for sponsoring our tea experiments today. I am really happy that you made it to today's tea practice because this should be really good. I am going to put my faith in the power of our friendship with Canada. And Mel in making this work because, yeah, this is my favorite matcha. I'm going to be really sad if it doesn't come out well. I've been hanging on to this last bit of it because Mel gave this to me like last year. I should have drunk it by now. But I'm the kind of person who hangs on to the very last bit of stuff because it's so good that even if I know it's not going to be as fresh anymore, I'm like, it's okay. Like, it'll still feel the same, like, you know? Yeah. Oh my god, it smells amazing! It smells like chocolate. Oh my god, Steven, you gotta smell that. It smells like chocolate. Does it smell like chocolate? Oh my god, it smells like matcha chocolate. Why is that? It's the sugar in the maple water with the matcha interacting. My god. Oh my god. I'm so excited. I'm gonna be really disappointed if this doesn't work out. And I'll be honest if it doesn't work out. But I have a feeling that it will. God, please. Please, all my tea karma, please. Please work right now. Please. Just think about all the wonderful people in tea. Like Steven and Mel and Alex, Christine and Jeremy and Shallow and Claire. Oh, all my friends. All of our friends. Everyone who's on stream right now. Just trying to put all my positive energy into this because, again, if this is not good, I'm going to be really mad that I wasted this matcha. I'm usually not mad when I waste tea on experiments, but there's a reason why you haven't seen this matcha on stream because I don't want to mess it up. It's so delicious. It's foaming up beautifully too. Really, really, really lovely. Oh, so beautiful. Wow, I'm so excited. Okay, I'm so scared to try this, so I'm gonna have Steven try it first because I'm scared of it not going well. Steven's really happy. Is it good? Wow. Wow, that's really good. And it's the kind of good that goes, wow, okay, that's really good. Wow. I feel like, I don't know, everything else has been like eating sushi at my favorite restaurant, but it's not Tsukibayashi Jiro, like Jiro Dreams of Sushi. But it's so good, I have to be quiet. Wow, it's so good. I'm not even trying to be quiet, it's just like, shh, it's so good. Just let it be. And it's still building, right? The tea is just so good, and the maple water is so good. So let's break it down just technically. the flavor of the matcha and the flavor of the maple water are perfect together. Neither is lost in this setup, right? It's just so smooth and elegant and light and airy and just so delicious. It feels like I'm cheating to have this. Like, it's too good. It's like really too good. Oh my god. Nothing is canceling anything out. You get the matcha, you get the maple water. It's a little bit sweet. It's a little bit, bitter in an elegant way. And if you notice, I'm not drinking it so fast. For those of you who've had, lives with us before, you'll notice that the more I like a tea, the less I drink of it, because I'm so busy trying to just experience it because it's so friggin' delicious and elegant and complex and it has so much to give. It's like if you watch a really good movie, you're like, oh my god, that one scene, let me rewind it. Oh my god, what the hell? And good teas like this, honestly, when you find like really world-class amazing tea and tea experiences, you actually don't want to chug it because it's so show-stopping that you just gotta be like, I've only had one sip, right? I just had one sip, maybe two. I don't even remember because I'm so... Wow. Oh my god. Oh my god! Get out of here! It's so good! It's delicious. Whew! Oh my god! So this is one of the best bowls of matcha I've ever had in my life, and we're having it right now. I'm not surprised because the other bowls of matcha I've had that have been like game changing involve this specific matcha, but the harmony is just perfect. Like the fact that we're using the maple water, I know it's kind of funny. We're trying to do an experiment, but it doesn't seem wrong. Does it feel wrong to you? Does it take away from the matcha at all? I wouldn't say so. It's just perfect.
I even feel like it's the right temperature for the maple.
Oh yeah. It's perfect,
yeah.
Perfect temperature, perfect feeling. It just makes me so happy. It's just so good. It feels wrong. Like I don't have enough karma in my life to enjoy something this good. And the thing with tea is that if you factor in the cost of these two things, I know how to get Mel in all her infinite grace and wonderfulness to bring this back for us. But let's say the matcha cost $5, right? The matcha powder. And that's on the higher side. I didn't use very much. And the maple water cost $1.20. We're having like a life-changing bowl of matcha for $6.20, which is insane. I mean, of course, the teaware and stuff like that, but I can't imagine anyone else in Vegas having a better like moment of taste and experience right now. I don't care like which Michelin star you're at on the strip. This is amazing. It's just really, really good. And the thing is, we wouldn't have known it if we weren't brave enough to try it. So if for those of you who've joined us from many of our other experiments, it doesn't always go this way. But this is excellent. I'm really, really happy. Wow. We need to do this more. That's number one thing too. This is not the last time we'll do this because it's so good. It's not just an experiment. So for those of you who are around, go to your local store and see if your local store is also putting these on clearance. They're $1.50 on sale, okay? And then again, Fukujuan, thank you, Tea Gods, for bringing us this amazing matcha. I'm sure that the matcha we picked also worked really well, but the thing is, at the very base, we figured out that there is a natural harmony between matcha and maple water. I'm surprised. And matcha and La Croix too. And I'm happy that we used the maple water with the really good matcha though, because the La Croix is interesting. I really invite you to try it, but it is flavored. So if you want to have like a super pure, preserve your original matcha's flavor, I think the maple water is a better bet here. But if you want to do something fun and more obvious and you can do mixology with it, La Croix is also a really good match. We are really lucky today. It's been a really good couple of rounds. Whew! Thank you for giving us all your positive energy because I was really nervous about this at the very beginning. And thanks for sharing one of the best matcha bowls I've ever had in my life right now, right here. I haven't even finished it yet. It's just so good. But yeah, that's all the time we had today. I'm going to sit and think about this because it's very good. Please do your own experiments too. They're going to have successes, you're going to have some failures, but it's so worth it when you have something like this that comes out. Like, it's so worth it. Okay, go do it. Go do it. Okay, go, okay? Have a nice Saturday. Goodbye. Thank you. Wow.